Good morning, business legends. What are we going to talk about today? We're going to talk about building business relationships. Now, if you're in business, you probably know that a lot of your, if not all of your business comes from referrals through relationships. So what we're going to talk about today is about how to build powerful relationships for growth and for success. We're all looking for strategies to connect, to engage, and to actually leverage the growth and get what we're looking for. Now, what we're going to talk about is we're going to talk about the power of relationship capital. We're going to talk about how to network and build strategic connections. And we're going to talk about leveraging the relationships for growth and opportunities. So let's talk about that. And when was the last time you actually thought about who are your relationships? Now, the one thing that I love about I love the fact that we're in networking, a networking business, because the longer you're in business, the more you realize that, yes, it's actually the relationships that make or break a business. And that's not just for the growth or the opportunities, it's the collaboration, the expertise. So it's just super important. And I've been talking to some people, recently, and they've been talking about, I might be changing businesses or I'm moving over and I'm moving to a new area. And the one thing is, that the one thing people can't take from you is your business relationships. They're yours. So they are your relationship capital, right? They're your competitive advantage. Nobody can beat you at your relationship. So it's an area for growth. It's an area for improvement. It's definitely a skill level to build relationships, and then also to turn those relationships into genuine, authentic capital, if you like. So let's talk about it. So first of all, think about the biggest opportunity that you've had in your business. Did that come from a cold email or an advertisement? Or did that come from the result of a conversation or a referral or a trusted relationship? So think about that. It's always the who that opens the doors. It's not the what that changes things, it's the who. Now, you'll have heard us say a million times, with no exaggeration, that people buy from people they know, like, and trust. And that's not apparent until you're actually in a networking environment or you're in a sales environment, you're out meeting customers, that then it becomes apparent to you that where there's a relationship, where there's a connection, people will buy. And if there's not, they're just not going to. And here we're talking a lot about service-based businesses, retail businesses. We're not talking about online e-commerce stores here. That's a very different business model. They're not really looking to build relationships with customers at that level. So how do you get people to know, like, and trust you? Well, that's about turning up consistently. It's about being genuine, and it's about being a good human. Right? And it is that easy. I'm always surprised at how easy business is. All we have to do is show up, be ourselves, be our authentic selves, and help others to get what they want. And that's it. Business works. The universe solves itself around us if we just do that. So we have many hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of examples of business owners who have perhaps not known about networking or the power of referrals or the power of relationship building. And then what we get, or the feedback that we get when we're doing calls is, it is all about the relationships. And that might be a year in, it might be 2 years, it might be 3 years of trying to build relationships. And then, it's like, it's all about the relationships. So we'll get so many examples of that. So part number one there is about the power of relationship capital. Those relationships are yours. And if you just maintain that and help others to get what they want, and that's in life and in business, it doesn't have to be, referrals. It's about being a good human. So part number two is around, how to network and actually build the strategic connections. So, we know here that business networking is not about business card swapping. We know that, but it's about networking with intent. So where is our curiosity? Before we attend a networking event, what is our intent? Is there a person that you would like to help? Is there something you would like to learn? Is there something that you would like to teach? What is that? If you don't have an intent, then a great question just to go in with, or an intent or a curiosity, is to ask 3 people what they're finding challenging. at the minute in their life or business? That question is a curiosity on how you can serve. Right? And it is that simple. How can you serve? Is that your intent? Then it's about the finding common ground, building rapport, asking great questions, but also then beyond that, as we know, it's the follow up. So in between our networking, how are we following up with people? So if you've asked 3 people, how can I serve you? Then follow up on that. It's not about, oh, well, I know what you need now, but I'm not going to help you to get it. And if you don't know how to help someone to get it, then we go and find someone who can in the network. So it's all about, what can I give? How can I serve? Get curious around that. And the more you serve, the more you are memorable. And the more you receive. You can't not. It's the law of reciprocity. You get what you give, and it can't be any other way. So the third thing I'm going to talk about today is leveraging relationships for growth and for more opportunities, right? It's around the nurturing. A lot of people don't join networking or go looking for new friends. Some people might be looking for community or access to service providers. They're not really looking for friends. But then you realize, again, as you build relationships and you build friendships, that the business comes from the friendships that we create, because that's common ground, it's common values, it's shared values around professionalism, around life, around views, and you're really happy to introduce people to people who have got a similar mindset and similar beliefs and value system to you. So how do we nurture those relationships in between events or in between meetings? Again, it's about how do we do this with intent? And with your intent is, how do I nurture this relationship? Because this relationship is a mutually beneficial relationship that becomes our networking capital, right? Or relationship capital. So how are we checking in? Just a text message every week. How are you? That's all it takes. How did you get on with that thing that we were talking about? Here's an article that I would love to share with you. Here is someone that I met last week. Can I give you an introduction? You might not be able to do business together, but you've got shared ideas. You can really, might be a mastermind opportunity for leverage, or it might be a collaboration. It might be you guys have got the same target market, but you're not competing. So you might be able to share real estate in each other's newsletter. But it is all about finding ways to do things together. Right, there's always a way. So building relationships is about how can we collaborate. It doesn't have to, it's not about competition. It's about how can we work together. Is there a way that we can work together? And that collaboration opens doors. For example, Deep Tech 2, we partnered with Bartercard on the Eastern States in the Eastern States. And what they did was they shared our magazine, our Business Profit magazine, to 100,000 people. Now, that 100,000 people is enormous opportunity for us. That's another 100,000 people who now know who we are. But that came from nurturing. That came from trust. That came from demonstrating credibility. And that wasn't done through email marketing or cold calls, or that was done through Dean Keating, going over there and actually building and taking time to build that relationship and building trust, likability, credibility. That was massive. So let's refocus on building relationships. Let's refocus on building our business growth team, because that's what our relationships is. It's our team, not our target market. So invest in your relationship capital, because your success is built on that. And the second thing is network with intent. Build relationships with intent. Focus on quality, not quantity. And then finally, where's your nurture sequence? And is this landing differently for you today? So what is the challenge is, reach out to people today, reach out to 3 people, like write down as you're thinking now, write down, but what 3 people should I have reached out to and I haven't done it yet? What 3 people do I have to follow up with? What 3 people would I like to meet? And do that now, invite them to an event, invite them for a meeting, invite them to collaborate. So hopefully this has just given you some reminders on the importance of building strategic business relationships, the importance of that in competitive advantage, the importance of that for collaboration, shared expertise, shared database, shared opportunities, and of course referrals. So thank you very much. I look forward to hearing all the conversations around this. Thank you.